Hey, Pepin.
Yo, Steve.
So I've been thinking a lot lately about zombies and the living dead and the end of the world. And it's really got me concerned. Have you thought about that at all?
That's kind of intense.
Is this something I should be worried about?
This is something we need to talk about.
Welcome back. So glad you guys could join us. My name's Meader. I am here with the other host of the show, Pepin. How are you, Pepin?
Doing pretty good.
I'm definitely glad that we were able to get together, record another episode, and have on a very special guest here today. Goes by the name of Shannon. How are you doing, Shannon?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Good, absolutely. And I'm really excited to talk about zombie apocalypses, all sorts of things associated with zombies. Now, how is this something that you guys have given a lot of thought to?
So I actually haven't, and maybe I should have, because this could be something serious if it would happen. I don't know if it could, but no.
When I lived in Boston, I used to have to walk to work, and I would play Zombie Apocalypse, and I would walk. It was a 50-minute walk. And I would go through it, picking out my hideout, where I would hide my food, who my gang members would be, like my posse, like the homeless guy on the corner, because he had diapers. And you never know when you're going to find a bathroom during the zombie apocalypse. Like, who has time to stop for a porta potty? You never know. Zombies can breathe underwater.
Diapers?
Well, yeah, because they don't breathe at all. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I never thought about diapers like being a necessity in a zombie apocalypse.
Could be. What if you're stuck underneath a tank in the middle of Atlanta and you can't get out and you gotta go?
A herd of zombies is coming and you shit yourself and you only have one pair of pants.
They're gonna smell that. They're gonna come for you.
Well, I guess if you're running away as well and you gotta take a piss, you can't just use the bathroom somewhere. You still gotta keep running. So
the zombies will get you.
Obviously, holding it is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are gonna be scared.
Now, I think something really important to talk about. Over the years, zombies has kind of become a mainstream, huge thing. Even just in Hollywood alone, it's exploded. So with that, there's been so many other adaptations of what is a zombie, what's the criteria, and, I think their speed and transmission are two of the biggest topics. So I think we should agree on one set before we move forward with, what we would do, who we'd be with, and a game plan.
I like the 28-day zombies best, the ones that starve to death after a month, because that just makes sense. How are you walking around decomposing, still eating people, and running after me at full force? They had it right.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like the Night of the Living Dead style where, slow-moving, shambling. They're not threatening because they're fast or because they're smart. They're threatening because there are a fuck ton of them. And mass is what really makes them be something that's really dangerous, like a bee.
So I don't think that there's any ultimate kind of zombie form, because they're all kind of horrendous. But I would agree kind of with Shannon's point that they need to be somewhat realistic. They can't just be this thing that never dies and never starves, and you can't kill it, you can't do anything, blah blah blah. It's like well, there's got to be some kind of way you can avert this or kind of kill it or get away from it. It just can't be.
So you kill it by piercing the brain. That seems fairly standard for a zombie. Do we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. And they have an expiration date of sorts. I feel like a month is a little too short in my opinion. I feel like a zombie would, if it would just decompose, and they may have a faster rate of decomposition than, a regular body or something like that. But I feel like it's not really at starving to death. Like eating shouldn't have anything to do with how long it takes to die necessarily. Because when it eats, it that shouldn't do anything to it. It especially wouldn't lengthen its life.
Well, I don't know, because I think the idea is that it would be living longer, or maybe it's the idea it's just like a virus and it infects other people, and then, it doesn't really matter that the whole eating part is just a way to infect others, and they'll eat as many people as they can, and, that's infecting the virus, is not actually prolonging the virus at all.
Yeah, the virus doesn't want a host that's going to die that early. So you got to figure the zombies are going to be going just to spread the disease. But, why aren't there more zombie babies?
Well, they
What are you going to tell me if you're pregnant and you become a zombie? How come there are no pregnant zombies? Have you ever seen a pregnant zombie?
Yeah. It was in the mall scene of that movie. And she's like giving birth, and the guy has her like chained down, and she gives birth, and it ends up being a zombie.
What was that movie called?
Well, that was one of the Night of the Living Dead, wasn't it?
Was it?
It was a reboot of Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, something like that. It was because they had the original
Dawn
one.
of the Dead,
yeah.
one of those.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead.
That's right.
It was the reboot
Yes.
of Dawn of the Dead.
Is that the only pregnant zombie baby? Other than that show Z Nation, they have that like weird blue zombie baby.
Well, why would the mother need to give birth at any point? And on top of that, if a newborn is being born or falling out or whatever, it's not going very far. Like it's wherever it lands is where it ends. So that's probably the biggest reason why you don't ever see one, is because there's never an opportunity for there to be one. Unless the zombies attacked like a Planned Parenthood or something.
Protester zombies. That could be a really good script idea. That's like B movie right there. Like
Nice.
Protester zombies.
Night of the Living Abortions.
Yes.
Wow. I think that's going to be a working title.
Night of the Living Abortions.
So,
Glitter.
are you
love
like
it.
doing the opening scene cinematic in your
Yes,
head?
you could see me.
Is this like a glitter explosion, or is it like tinkling down?
It's like a
or-
glitter, it's like quiet. Nobody sees my glitter coming.
It's a secret glitter.
And then all of a sudden it's like, it's glitter.
Night of the Living Abortions, subtitle glitter.
And like the opening movie will be like Sharknado 3. We'll like draw the crowd in. We'll like charge $1.
So you're going to use the Sharknado 3 opening and then hit them with zombie abortions.
Yes.
So are the
Like-
zombies getting abortions?
I think they're giving the abortions actually,
So-
because they're very passionate zombies.
The zombies are the ones giving the abortions.
Yes, they have like little lab coats and stuff, and they carry like Tide swabs so you can't see the rotting like blood flesh come through their lab coats. So they like trick you.
I think we should definitely avoid the logistics around how a zombie is going to give an abortion.
I don't know. I think people should be prepared.
If there's anybody who's prepared, it's the people at Planned Parenthood.
This might be true, but you never know who's coming in the room to, abort your baby.
If you work at Planned
Zombies.
Parenthood, shoot us a tweet, WNTT1, and let us know. Do you guys have zombies doing the abortions there? Is this like...
Yeah, and like,
I've never been to a Planned Parenthood. I plan not to plan.
yeah. Well, they do STD testing as well, so in case.
But, oh my god, if they did zombie abortions, that would be amazing. I would love that place.
Oh, well, hold on. You can't just judge. Some zombies might be there for STD testing. You never know.
Yeah, very true. What now? Would the zombie virus be an STD? If you were to fuck a zombie, would you become a zombie?
I think so.
No. I think it has to be through the bite, but then again, could this be in the blood or just the life? Maybe the zombie has all these wounds on the inside of its
Well,
mouth.
what if a zombie dude gets like a non-zombie lady pregnant?
Well, they were at Planned Parenthood, so they're all good. They got condoms.
They have Plan Z. Awesome. All makes sense now how there aren't that many zombie babies, because there are zombies performing abortions every day. doing their part,
So So the zombie apocalypse hits. They're slow moving. There's an initial zombie, and then through the bite is transmitted this disease. It gives you the fever. It burns you out, and then you come back to life. So you need to die and come back to life in order to be a zombie, and then it just spreads exponentially. At what point are we talking about what would you do? When you first hear about it on the news? When you first see one?
I mean, I would be very skeptical at first. I mean, I don't know about you, Steve, but I'd be like, this is bullshit. This is just people. But I think as I gain more and more credence, I would, start seeing pictures that, and videos, and I'd go look at the videos and see, okay, is this editing? Is this really good editing, or what is this? And then maybe it's someone who I knew died of a zombie bite. I'd be like, oh, okay.
So you need to see it firsthand.
Not firsthand, but I need to be very certain of it.
Now, I've thought about this part a lot when if patient 0 was to come towards me, I would die. And I think just about anybody in the world would die because you wouldn't know that they're about to bite you and that they're a zombie. So you might be guarded and try and keep your distance, but that at the last second they're gonna lunge and then you're gonna be bitten. So even if you saw the initial outbreak start, I don't think it would. The first thing that would happen would be you'd be like, this is zombies. It's happening. Unless you're Shannon, because she's giving me a look right now where she's like, you're full of shit. I'd fucking know.
I was just going to say, unless it was a cop zombie and it was a black zombie.
Are you trying to make this racial right now, or are you getting with the current events?
I just think we can turn everything into racial. Zombies are starting the new movement. Zombies versus non-zombies. White zombies, green zombies. The greenies are the worst.
You're already coming up with racial slurs.
Yes,
for zombies.
They have gangs now.
They are very well versed in gang.
They have the greenies, and then the blackies are the super rotted ones.
I don't think it's politically correct to call them blackies.
Well, the whiteys are pussy, and then the blueies. They're just
got that asphyxiation going.
Well, they have a vitamin D deficiency, so we shouldn't judge them. So.
No, they all have E's at the end of them, right?
Yes, because they're zombies. So, they're
like bees.
Back to the bees, man.
They get together.
Oh my God, the bees. This is probably where all the honeybees went. Honeybee right. Zombies. Oh my God.
That would be pretty devastating. How do you fight off a zombie, let alone a bee zombie?
Exactly. How do you fight off bee zombies? Fly zombies now. So if there are those kind of zombies, insect zombies.
Well, for anyone who's not aware, there's actually a certain kind of fungi out there, and they will infect the brains of ants. And what they'll do is they'll cause the ant to climb up a little plant and up on the leaf, and just kind of stand there. And what will happen is the little fungi will kind of sprout out of its head and become a new fungi where it will kind of spread its spores to the other ants.
Yeah, it's not even just a little plant. It's to the top of a tree. It's it goes way, way up there, and then it does that in a forest situation.
Yeah, it's also other not zombies. There's other parasites where they'll infect the brain of whatever kind of insect, and they'll purposely try to get the insect to be eaten by a bird. Because that way the bird gets infected as well, and they shed a bunch of parasites, and then so on and so forth. And it's kind of weird how they can take control of these insects' brains.
That first fungus you were talking about was actually the inspiration for the Pokemon Paris. If you look at a Paris, it's like a little crab, and it's got mushrooms on its back. And then when it evolves into a parasect, its eyes lose their pupils and it's complete white, and its entire body is enveloped in one mushroom. So the mushroom has taken over the actual animal.
I know nothing of this Pokemon.
Well, now you do. I
now have some of this insight.
And I think that pretty much sums up Pokemon. If you know about that, then you know Pokemon in general.
So Shannon, how many days would it take for you, or how much information? What would be the criteria for you to say, yep, zombie apocalypse?
The first news, anything I saw, I would be getting my guns, I would be getting my ganj, and I would be getting, like, my posse together. So you need, like, I don't know, you need one of everything. In this case, you need to find a doctor. So closest thing we have is, like, Vinny. So, like, you know, he knows how to, like, fix machines and stuff. We work with him.
That's basically a doctor. If you can fix a machine,
Basically a doctor.
Might as well be working on the human body.
Next, we're going to need somebody who knows how to, like, grow coffee beans, because I'll die without coffee. So second priority is coffee.
Are you trying to keep the coffee shop open? Like,
Yes.
Like, we need a mechanic. We need someone who can grow the beans.
We will live in the coffee shop, and there'll be food there somehow. I don't know. Who can we eat? I guess I'll have to pick a few choice people to eat in case things get really bad. Although we're lucky because we live in Maine, and we could just go, like, snag a cow or something, I guess, before it turns into a zombie cow. We got to Noah's Ark this thing. We need a cow. We need some chickens. Basically, we need to rob all of our neighbors.
I don't think you understand Noah's Ark.
And we just shove it all in the coffee shop. And then we'll build a fence around it. And we'll call M. Night Shyamalan, or whatever his name is, and he'll just write a TV show about it.
Your
awesome.
priorities are all over the place.
Listen, this is serious. Zombie apocalypse. Guns. Okay, shelter doesn't have to be a coffee shop. Guns.
See, what
shelter.
I'm thinking for shelter is get to a second or third story building, destroy the staircase.
That's
What
pretty
if you
important.
need it?
Don't need it.
Don't need it.
Or you can create like a ladder out of blankets and have it so you guys can go down and come back up, but the zombies can't. Like we're man, we can make tools, but zombies are stupid.
I think I would just get a giant lava moat.
Maybe a boat. Go out in the ocean.
I
lake.
think a lava moat and a boat are definitely the two best options, especially if you combine them together.
But you got to avoid the raids, because people are going to raid all the food. So you got to figure that one out quick.
I mean, if I was being serious right now, I would move out into the middle of nowhere, like just to wilderness. Less people. There's animals to eat. There's lots of like plants and other stuff to eat. Probably get a few books about how to live in the wild.
Just Amazon that shit. They'll drone it over to you.
Stuff's out there.
Like zombie apocalypse is good fire sale right now.
But the thing with zombies is normally during zombie apocalypse, when a normal person dies, they turn into a zombie, right? So, like, if you kill your cow to eat it, is that motherfucker going to turn into a zombie before I eat him? Because I don't want to eat no zombie cow.
That's an important question.
I do not want to eat no zombie cow.
What if you
get infected?
What if you harvest the meat and cook it before it has a chance to turn?
Like, maybe you have to just sever the head off and your meat is kosher? I don't know. Like a rabbi cuts his head off.
I think that's exactly what kosher is.
You know?
It's non-zombie.
Non-zombie. It's very important.
I should start eating kosher.
I should start eating kosher, too. That's probably how it gets started. Through our meat.
Not enough people eating kosher.
Steve, what would be your first action or first game plan as far as, avoiding?
Fucking panic? Like what are you gonna do? Like, really? So you hear it on the radio and it's like, this just in, all of Detroit has fallen. And then like a month later, you're like, okay, well, fuck Detroit anyway. And it's like, this just in, New York has just fallen to zombies, and so has all other major cities. It's heading up your way. You better find shelter. And then everybody's trying to evacuate, and you're just like stuck. Like, there's nothing you can do. So I just chill in my apartment, and then everybody's gonna leave, and I'll lock my door, and I'll be fine.
Oh, that's a good message.
People will call me and be like, "Hey, we gotta save each other," and I'm gonna be like, "Do it, save us."
Actually, I think a bank would be a great place to hide out, because you have like the vaults they can't get in, and you have cameras and everything, and as long as there's still electricity, but it might be pretty nice. And they have money there as well. You can steal all the money.
When we were in college, I had a dream that it was zombie apocalypse every single night for 3 months straight. You don't remember me telling you that?
I do not.
I told you, because every morning you'd be like, you have a zombie dream? Like, jackass-like. And I'm like, fucking yeah, I did, actually, and it was terrible.
Is this like a metaphor for something?
Yeah, for impending doom.
Oh, yeah. And I guess the impending doom is from others, which I think is a general kind of zombie metaphor.
Did you just say udders?
Yes, from udders.
Like a zombie cow?
Actually, if you drank the milk from a zombie cow, would that cause you to be a zombie?
If you drink the milk from a zombie woman, does that cause you to be a zombie?
I would think so. It's like bodily fluid exchange, so yeah.
Well, it's like there's some STDs where, it's like you won't infect the other person by making out. It's only with like sexual penetration. Some STDs, it's both. There's some that are just oral. So I don't know. Maybe zombie infestation's only oral.
Very possible, absolutely. Especially if we're going with that it's something transmitted through saliva. Now, if it's an airborne thing, then there's literally nothing you can do. You're done.
Yeah, if it's airborne, we're all fucked.
Now, I think on The Walking Dead, everybody has the disease, and when you die, you come back as a zombie, even if you're not bitten. And that seems pretty realistic. Like, that could happen. Like, you die, your brain function shuts down, and then something in your brain starts to come back alive, and it's only the id part of your brain. It's only the basic animal instinct that comes back of eat, and that's about it, and body movement, central nervous system.
Yeah, kind of like the reptilian brain. I think he said id, but reptilian? Or...
The reptilian brain?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you going off on the reptile people again?
No. So, it's like in neurology, there's 3 different layers of the brain, and they kind of all evolved on top of each other. There's the reptilian brain, which is the oldest part of the brain, and then on top of that is the mammal brain, and this is the brain that all mammals have, and that's more than just survival and kind of fucking stuff. This is more like kind of taking care of your infants and socialization and stuff like that. Then on top of that, there's the part that's unique to humans, and that's the kind of rational part, the prefrontal cortex, and so on and so forth. And we need that to kind of this function in this everyday kind of life with our complex languages and such.
So the zombie is just the reptile brain.
Right. Because I doubt it really cares for its offspring.
Well, technically it doesn't really have offspring per se.
And also, it's the virus would just be using the body as a kind of a means of replication. So it's not really like the body's designed for the virus at all. It's just kind of a handy little means.
So when a zombie bites you, that's its version of sex.
Yeah. Well,
then you're not only the parent, you're also the child.
Yeah.
That's incest.
Well, you're kind of the host. It's like it's even with flu, right? So if you get the flu, right, from someone else, the flu is using you as just a vehicle to transmit it to other people. That's all you are to the flu. It doesn't give a fuck about you.
If you were a vehicle, what type of vehicle would you be?
An SUV. So realistically, how worried are you about a zombie apocalypse? So you think it's something that could actually happen, or you think it's possibility but maybe not, or what exactly, Steve?
Not if, but when.
So you believe it could happen in the future? Well, you believe it is going to happen, but it's just a matter of time. So
yes, sir.
And how do you think it's going to happen? It's going to be some kind of medical breakthrough, or some kind of disease that's kind of made, or what do you call it, a biopathogen made by some kind of terrorist group or something, or even some government.
A natural disease that just springs up through evolution. Like
the new plague.
Exactly.
Right. And Shannon, what do you think? You mean?
I actually think ignorant society will probably destroy us before a zombie apocalypse shows up. But I definitely think there could be a zombie apocalypse, and I definitely wouldn't put it past some kind of airborne pathogen being released, something like that. But I think there's probably already like a plan in place, much like there aren't aliens, you know? Like, I'm sure
Did
there's...
you just do air quotes?
I air quoted. Now y'all know.
Well, this isn't a very visual medium, so
Doesn't matter.
I wanted to make sure they knew when you said aliens.
Oh,
And
yeah,
you didn't even
aliens.
say it like sarcastically, like there aren't aliens.
There aren't aliens, okay? Just like there isn't a zombie apocalypse plan in place.
To cause one or to resolve one?
I think just to like evacuate some of who they would consider the most important people.
Didn't the CDC release a report saying that a zombie apocalypse is very much possible?
No. So what they did was they released a report to try to get publicity, and they actually released a game later, and it was trying to get... So disease-borne pathogens and zombie apocalypses are very similar as far as how they will contaminate people, so how they spread. So they actually were talking about zombie apocalypse as a way of conveying this kind of any kind of disease spreading. So it could be the flu, it could be some other, like, what was it at the time? Bird flu spreading, and how serious of an issue that could be. Nothing actually with zombies in particular. And even released a game later kind of demonstrating how fast it could spread through the country and through the world.
Plague?
Yeah, any kind of plague. So
no, that's the name of the game.
Plague? Oh, Plague.
There's a game called Plague, and it was by the developer Endemic. And I'm pretty sure he gave okay, this is how much of a nerd I am, right? So not only do I own that game, but I was also following him on Twitter, and I saw that he was at like a big convention with like the CDC or something like that. And like, I actually read into his post, and he was explaining that he was presenting this to them, saying like, and they were using it to analyze how things can spread and things like that, all based off of this little game that he created.
Yeah, I'm not really worried, like, personally about a zombie apocalypse. I'm very skeptical about these kind of ideas. But there's things out there which can do similar things. As far as evolution being a factor, I think evolution is very, very slow, and it's not very likely. But I could see maybe some scientists, trying to develop some kind of some super weapon to use against their enemies, and it getting out of hand, And the problem is of course with exponential growth. So once you infect one person, especially if it's airborne, it's going to affect so many other people, and it's going to be really hard to contain, especially if you have a delay on, when it infects people. If it doesn't like actually start initiating for like a year after, you could like probably infect like a quarter of the world easily.
Well, you said that evolution is very slow, but for smaller, simpler life forms, it's exponentially faster than it is for something as complex as a human.
It can be pretty fast, but it's still not very fast in comparison.
In comparison to what?
To humans.
Well, so like something like the flu in general, like it can mutate, and like bacterias, they can mutate to be resistant to what we're using to kill them. And that all happens, relatively quickly in comparison to how long it takes for them to be where they are at that moment anyway.
Mm-hmm. And that is a kind of a selective evolution in a way. So you could actually do this in the lab if you want, because what you're doing is you're taking a population, right, and you're killing off all the ones that are affected by this thing, and you're keeping the ones that aren't affected, right, or don't have a slightly better resistance. And eventually you're going to come to some genes within the pool which actually, can survive. And that's different from something being more naturally kind of evolved. So that's a trait of resistance, but the trait of, say, selection of certain other traits, like airborneness, or having an arm, or having another foot or something, that's something else completely. That's a new feature evolving.
Well, who's to say that one of the features that are already there wouldn't just be minor tweaked? All it takes is one little tweak of something to turn it into something completely different. Because
evolution has actually guards against this with, minor tweaks causing big issues or big changes, because the problem with that is any minor tweak could actually, inhibit your offspring. So there's a way around this by having lots and lots of children. But, they tend not to change things very much with this. Shannon's getting a little lost here.
I'm just shaking my head about the lots of children thing. You guys lost me before that, but you definitely lost me after the children thing. I'm like...
Well, doesn't a virus have lots and lots of children? Like, that's just what it does. That's all it does.
Yeah, but it's very, very non-prone to mutation. Mutation is very, very small, and, you know... let's get off this evolution train because this gets very little too.
We really need Neil deGrasse Tyson to come on and explain evolution.
No, not Neil deGrasse
viruses
Tyson.
to us.
Be like a TED Talk.
Richard Dawkins.
We should have Richard Dawkins and Neil deGrasse Tyson come on, do a TED Talk for us, and argue with each other.
Yes.
That would be the pinnacle of all entertainment and science mixed together.
I like it.
Hey guys, if you're listening to this, hit us up. Let me know what's going down. WNTT1 on Twitter, or you can always just hit me up. I'm at Meader, pretty easy, Meader. You know what to do. Let me know if you want to be on the show. You do.
I would just die if Richard Dawkins showed up here. I would just die.
I'm not doing this podcast alone. Do not do that to me. So we've talked quite a bit about zombies, you know, zombie abortions, and we've hit really all of the key things. Noah's Ark, you know.
Honestly, it's all downhill after zombie abortions. I mean, how can you top that?
You can't. That's the end. That was the end of it, and the rest has been filler. So,
well, we solved the zombie overpopulation, you know, crisis through zombie abortionists.
So as always, guys, control the zombie population. Get
Plan
your
Z.
zombies spayed or neutered. Get some Plan Z. We'll see you next time.
Talk.